Hey, Professor Darren.
Hey, hear that green screen?
That's kind of sexy.
Might have to tweak it a little bit.
I see you looking out your window. I see you looking out your window. What do you see? I wonder what you're thinking.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to It's Always an Adventure. You've got the Professor Darren and my lovely wife, Kim. So welcome back. So we're going to pick it up on our next trip back to Elkhorn with Sophia. Now, I don't recall, how did she remember that something followed us from that wooded area into the house? Do you recall the conversation?
Yeah, she called us up and she says, "You're not going to believe what happened." And I go, "What?" She said, "Well, they didn't listen. They followed us. At least one of them did. I'm not very happy about it." And I go, "What's up?" She said, "Gonna have to smudge again." And I go, "I'll help you smudge." Good. She said, "Somebody needs to be dinging the bell, the chime, while somebody's doing smudging." And I said, "Well, I can ding-a-ling-a-ling." She says, "Yeah, you can."
So it's a combination of Salvation Army and Smoking the Bandit, I guess.
So we started, first of all.
So what is the concept of smudging to begin with? What are we doing other than smoking out the house and setting off the fire alarms?
Well, what you're doing is,
You think that's funny?
you goofball. So what it's supposed to do is, it can't stand the smell of the incense. And it like purifies, it purifies the space. So then they're not allowed to be in that space. So you have to start in the very, very bottom and make your way up. And you have to remember to have a window or a door open so that they can get out. Otherwise, you're just really ticking them off because then they're just stuck in a room. You know what I'm saying?
And if I remember at the end of the story, we remembered that we were supposed to open a door or a window, and we didn't.
Sophia was mad because her husband, he was doing some beautiful work in the house. And she has all these crosses, crucifixes above all the windows and doors, which is, they've been blessed, and it's supposed to keep all the bad juju out of there. And the bathroom where he was working, all of them were down. So, that's where they came in at. So we started in the bottom, and then we went heavy in that bathroom, and she put the things back up and whatever, and it's a long process in order to do smudging.
Jeff, did you take down all the crosses and crucifixes?
Off with your head.
Yeah, we're gonna have a conversation.
Don't mess with Sophia.
No, I do know that Sophia and myself are both ordained ministers, so we can do certain things. I know she's got the holy water and the sage that's blessed, and the smoke pushes out the entity or the spirit, and just kind of moves it out and hopefully gets it out of the house. But I think the reason or how she actually found out something was going on, other than the feeling and a couple other things that she had, being the psychic medium, was her SLS camera. She kept sending me pictures of, these stick figures on the couch and in the kitchen and by the little doggy beds and these types of things. And it's like that there's one or two or three. I think she had her own little SLS stick party going on in the house. It was like, wow. Okay, so I'm like, hey, this would be interesting. We can cruise up here and get some footage, turn this into an episode, and find out what you're really supposed to do to cleanse a house of things that are going on. And once again, I don't think it was being vicious or anything like that. Not like it was causing harm. It was just, it was there.
Not all spirits are bad. Some just want acknowledgement that they're there. And there's different kinds of spirits also. I mean, there's the residual, so they just keep repeating themselves, and so it's like a repeat of a show,
Like
just
Alzheimer's.
Yeah. What were you saying now?
Airplane.
Screwing with you. Anyway, So you have the residuals. You have, and a person doesn't have to actually die in order to have spirits in there either, because we've been to places where somebody hadn't. One place in particular, she told me about that they'd always see this little girl crying on the bed. When she heard about it, it was actually the gal that she's talking to, because she was a gal that was crying on the bed all the time because she had a very bad dad. And so she was in a room a lot and she got hurt by her dad. So I'm going to just leave it at that. But the residual is this little girl is crying on the bed, and it's her. So, see, she didn't pass away, but it was so traumatic that...
It's like a split off personality, like residual force that stayed in that area.
Yeah.
So interesting. So,
But she has a whole bunch of like sprites and things in there because she shops a lot. So,
Sophia, you shop a lot.
well, women like to shop. I don't really care too much for shopping. But anyway,
eBay, trader online place.
whatever. But anyway, so she gets stuff right from Japan and all these things. And when we were looking at the video to see the equipment to see where they were at, she had a boatload of them in the closet. And that's where all the stuff she gets on, what's that one?
Yeah, I can't remember where.
Etsy or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So she gets a bunch of stuff from that, and I think you get some mojo going on buying stuff out of the country.
Yeah, I don't know, it's trying to escape and attaches itself to an object or something, which would kind of go back to the stuffed animal in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something had attached itself to, what was that thing again? It was like a...
Was it a Raggedy Ann or a teddy
something.
bear or something? I know that it was not very happy when I was shaking it about.
Yeah, so why it would attach itself to that one when there's, plenty of others in the room. So, yeah, that
Plus the one in the closet.
Oh, the one with the eyeballs?
Yeah, spooky eyeballs.
Yeah, that was spooky with the fleur. So once again, one piece of equipment senses one thing and something sees another. Like your full spectrum cameras, typically when you have a camera, it's supposed to have a pretty picture. So what the manufacturers do, they put little lenses or filters over the sensor. So you have your primary lens goes on top of these filters or glass pieces colored, and then on top of that is underneath that is the sensor. So it basically makes the picture pleasing, warmer, I guess. So once you disassemble the entire camera very carefully and hopefully remember all the pieces go, take the lens off, and then you peel out those little glass pieces, those filters, and they're now typically what you have is a full spectrum camera. And all that means is just going to see a wider range of the image than you would without those pieces of glass in there. And typically it'd be a little more sensitive than the human eye. So once again, you can just see more of what could be there. So when you have different cameras, each camera is a little different as far as megapixels or the sensitivity, the ISO range, and these types of things. So you never know. One camera might pick up one thing, another camera might pick up something else, and the other 10 cameras pick up nothing. Then you've got your EVP meters. Some of them are just like a Geiger counter. Sometimes they're just looking for some type of radiation, not bad radiation, just radiation in general. So something's tripping it or triggering it. You've got your motion detectors.
Flux and electricity.
Yep, all those different things. Then you've got your FLIR cameras looking for heat, thermal dynamics. So, once again, the science part of it's really interesting. And then you have also the spiritualistic side of it. What's really there? Is it something? Is it somebody's human force or life essence or, whatever it might be? Well, those are pretty cool words, life essence. Yeah, I Googled that one. So, yeah, interesting. So we proceeded to ding, ding, ding the bells and smoke, smoke, smoke the house and the incantations. And how did that all end up? I mean, I was just videotaping. Sometimes you're looking through the camera, you're really not seeing everything that's going on. You're supposed to.
You're supposed to be paying attention all the time?
All the time. All the time. With one eye and then one eye through the camera.
I see. Well, it appeared that we did a decent job. Only the window got closed.
Yeah, Jeff had come back in from working out in the shop area of the garage and closed the window. So the little ghostly entity escape route hatch was sealed. Well, it just
Again.
gives us time to come back and shoot another episode.
So we'll have to do another episode. But it's fun. Sophia is so fun. She's a sweet gal.
Yeah,
She's interesting. She's got to be probably one of the most interesting gals I've talked to. She's a hoot.
I think we're going to try to do a three-way next time. Maybe I'll have her call in, and then we can see if we can get all three people talking. Well, not all at the same time, but maybe together, and we'll have to see how that goes.
And have a true conversation.
Yeah,
What?
2 conversations, 3 conversations. It goes back to that split personality thing. And then we'll have to talk about that other time that we went cruising around the woods closer to her house, right there in Heartland, with the tower and the mask and all the other stuff. Especially with the people at the shiny lights came and said hi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Once again, remember,
It's always an adventure.
Thanks for tuning in, and have fun. Like my sparkly hair.
Maybe you have sparkly hair.
I see you looking out your window. I see you looking out your window.